You know, it's been a while since I've said degens and degenettes.
Has it?
You remember that in the old intro?
I do remember. I wasn't sure how I felt about it.
Oh God, what a Steven comment. I'm gonna use it. Welcome, degens and degenettes, to another episode of the Alfalfa Podcast. It's been a very degenerate week.
And to
in
all of
meme coin
you in
land.
the audience who are like, "What is a degen?"
Oh yeah, Steven, tell us what
welcome,
a degen
welcome
is.
too. This guy buys like a meme coin before production
I
here.
did
Now
buy a meme
he's
coin.
like, he thinks he's
Whoa, are you questioning my degeneracy already? We just started the podcast.
you are like
I'm a light degen.
you're like F tier degen.
I'm a light degen.
You're yeah.
Yeah,
You're like
welcome
the
everybody.
skim milk of degens.
Let me get this in, Steven.
All right,
Calm,
fine.
pipe down.
I'll
We got
shut
a
up
couple
for a
hours
second.
ahead of us. So it's just Steven and I today. If you couldn't already tell, that's probably how this episode will look and feel. But I expect us to dive into some incredible topics today, and I think we're going to have a little deep dive at the end on some life stuff as well. So we are missing. Hey, turn down here. So if you're joining us for the first time or the second time or the 100th time, we are four entrepreneur and investor friends seeking the alfalfa in money and meaning. Steven Cesaro, I am Armand Asadi. Eric Johansson is traveling this week. We miss you, Eric. Nick Urbani is in China this week, smoking cigarettes and making deals happen. So
Is he
we miss you
squatting and
guys.
smoking ciggies?
Yeah, I actually requested a specific photo of him.
What did you call that?
I call it the Asian squat.
The Asian.
Yeah.
So you're just like
The Asian squat. If you YouTube Asian squat, it's actually incredible. I've been practicing
like a
it.
yoga kind
It's
of
when you
like
get down.
position where you're.
Yeah, and you get down in the full deep squat, and it's actually very good for when you start to have children, because they teach you to like practice this. All the like body guys, they're like, you got to practice the Asian squat so you can easily get down and play with your kids. And it puts you in a position that's like you're limber and you're available and
Never
you're
heard that one before.
mobile. Yeah. I've been practicing my Asian squat. So Nick is currently taking a photo in the Asian squat position with his Chinese suppliers, smoking ciggies, and I can't wait to pull it up on the pod next week when he's back. So that'll be fun.
I love that.
But we just got back from Denver. We were at the ETH Denver conference. It was an amazing time. 3 out of the 4 of us were there, myself, Steven, and Eric. And we had an alfalfa meetup, as many of you know. Jimmy, if you can pull up the photo. So this is at the tail end of the night. Those that stuck through the night with us, we had a little photo at the end. It was a really, really awesome event at the same place we had it a year ago. Had an amazing time. Love you guys. If you haven't made it out yet, we hope you do sometime soon. I think we're talking about doing one in San Diego. There's also talk about doing one in Europe, Alfalfa Palooza, I believe is what we're calling these events going
It's
forward.
an early, it's just early idea. It's in ideation mode still.
I've heard talk about a castle as well.
That talk came from you, yes.
Yes. Oh, damn. Good
Very
ideas.
pro castle.
Yeah, I think a castle rental in, somewhere.
I'm
random.
not going unless it's one of those castles where you poop off the edge of the wall.
Yeah, you want an old school castle.
Yeah.
I want a whole wing to myself with a modern wing with a very old school toilet. That's the key.
Edmondson won in Tampa, and I thought he was talking about a castle in Tampa, but I think he means an alfalfa chapter. I was like, wow, I didn't know Tampa had a castle.
Edmund, we're gonna meet Edmund one day. Edmund is one of our goats, of our legends in the community. Speaking of goats and incredible people in the community, we had a donation. Jimmy, who was that from?
Yes.
It was Travis.
Travis DC
Travis DC.
tipped $69. Thank you for the alpha.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Travis.
Yeah, Travis is in the Discord, and I don't think we've met Travis in person yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I look forward to that, Travis.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I hope you've been meme coining, or at least just following the alpha. It appears you have. Yes. So thank you, Travis, very much. Appreciate you. So to do that, links are in the show notes in the description, streamlabs.com/alfalfa. What other announcements, Stephen, before we dive into everything?
As always, I got to give a quick shout out to our Alfalfa NFT collectors. We had our boy Zimvi just keep showing up in the number one slot again, Zimvi.eth. Jensinius, number 2 for last week. And then this is a long one. It got cut off, but I think it's Jakabrusicki.
Okay.
.eth. Thank you. He came in the 3rd slot there. I think these are being posted as Farcaster frames, and so people are really buying them now. It's great.
So I got to talk to Lucas a lot, who is the founder, CEO of Pods Media at East Denver. Can you explain this a little more for people? Like, why get these? What the point is? Like, you know, just. I think a lot of people out there are like, okay, I hear you guys like mentioning this. Like, what does it mean? What does it all mean, Basil?
Look, instead of just like kind of donating $5 and it's like, thank you. Like you get something. You get a little memento. Maybe you get a shout out on the pod if you're on the top of the leaderboard. But you get an NFT, and these are cut off. They're not available after a week of launch. So you never know. We might be like Rogan someday. Maybe these things, maybe they go up. But don't buy it for that, please. Don't buy for that.
Well,
it's just a nice little collector's item. You get.
Lucas and I actually started to get some ideas where, you're collecting something, you're getting something in exchange.
Are you saying when utility?
Well, yes, I am.
They do give you a fancy role in the Discord. If you're in the
Discord.
Discord.
Think that the utility could be like, I think you and I should talk about, like, we could have episodes where it's like whoever collects the most, or the top 5 people that collect the most, because you can collect multiple for each episode. We can do certain things. We can be like, we can have somebody on the pod. We could, we could pull their voice in. We could voice chat with them. We could do a lot of things. And I think that's so much more significant than just a donation. So I would say like you have choices. You could go through Streamlabs. You could go through YouTube as well. I forget what they call that, but there's like a YouTube donation, and now you can go through Pods. But the benefit with Pods is I think we can come up with really like fun incentives for people.
Well, one thing that occurred to me is that like in East Denver, we're starting to have like a lot of people come to these meetups, and even at dinner, we had so many people come out to dinner after that.
We had a 25-person dinner.
Emma had to pull some
we had
shenanigans.
80-person RSVP for our event.
Yeah, it was awesome. But
we're like, yeah,
like maybe we should do like the Trump thing where we just. You get to sit with Armand at Armand's table, like the top 5 holders who are present.
Everyone wants to sit with you, Steven.
It gives you special access.
It's not about the Shah.
I don't know if that's
about that.
I don't know if that's true. People want the Shah. People want the Shah. The Shah's been getting special shout outs.
People want the meme coins, man.
People they do,
They want
and
your meme coin
we have to
alpha.
talk about that. Armand wants the meme coins. This was the least prepped for episode of all time because, and this is a true story. 20 minutes before the show, we had still not had a discussion what we wanted to talk about because Armand is in the side room on his computer, like trying to buy meme coins, and he's like, old man yells at cloud over there. He's like, "Hey, I got Princess Alive."
It's still fucking impossible. It's still impossible. You gotta move it through a centralized exchange.
I felt like I was talking to my
You gotta
dad.
bridge through a wormhole.
He-
you gotta fucking. It's actually still insane.
It's like my dad was like, so if I just tap my cell phone on the computer,
I am a technology native, and I was saying this to you, Stephen, like before we recorded. How many people do you think there are that know how to do this?
Millions.
No,
It's millions.
that's such a lie.
There's like
That's
there's
such
like
a
10
lie.
billion people in the world. You think
such a lie.
0.001% of them can't
How
figure
many
out how to
people-
trade a meme coin on Solana?
Correct. I think it's like 50,000 people max, 100,000 people.
50,000 in the
Yeah.
whole planet Earth?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Dude,
Yeah.
there were 25,000 just in Denver last week.
Shout out to BDB, one of our community members. We have this community member who has a name that It's a ridiculous name. It's called his handle is Big Dick Boy. He's
Oh,
never going to
that's
hear.
BDB.
He's never going to hear this because he didn't even listen to the podcast. He just stumbles into our Discord one day and he's like, "What is this?" And everyone like loves him. And at one point he was just like, "Wait, this is a podcast?" And people were just like, "What do you mean, bro? Like, what are you talking?" Anyway, him and I are on the same page. There is like a football field stadium worth of people in terms of audience that knows how to do advanced things in crypto.
You're like it's like I put a jar full of jelly beans in front of you, and I was like, Armand, how many jelly beans are in the jar? And you're like, it's 2 million. Like 50,000 again. How many
1/10
people?
of that.
How many people attended ETH
200,000.
Denver? How many people attended ETH
200,000.
Denver? Oh, okay. We're 4xing the number now.
No,
All right.
I'd put it at 200,000
All right,
people know.
I rest
how
my
to get
case.
around.
Higher. It's millions.
All right, I don't think
But
so.
like millions isn't that much, so we'll find common ground
still
there. We'll
insignificant.
find common ground there.
It's
But
still insignificant.
yeah, we gotta work on your meme skills.
I mean, like deck screener, and then I tried to. Remember, you watched me. You watched me.
I
was
did.
Like,
It hurt
I was
me.
like buying, and then it told me
It gave-
failed.
it gave me-
told me it failed. I tried to buy baby dog.
Oh, God.
Baby dog whiff hat, and it failed. So then I went to Jupiter, which actually I liked Jupiter. I think Jupiter is pretty cool. And then I went to Jupiter, and it's like, how do you get it? Dude, the whole journey started. This is the best part. The whole journey started with like, anyone out there ever tried to get their Optimism coins off of the Optimism network? Good luck, dude. Good luck.
It's not that
Like,
hard.
No, it is hard.
It's not
It
that
is
hard.
hard. It is
Everybody in the
most-
chat is like, "What is he talking about?"
No, it's like you could not get your cousin who has only bought like basic. I'm telling you, like I figure these things out. Of course I do, but an average person would never figure these things out ever. It's
Hear that,
borderline impossible.
listener? Armand thinks you're stupid.
Anyway, I think this is still on the intro, so we should probably just dive into everything.
You just gave me helping my dad set up E-Trade account vibes. That's what I just went through.
That's fine.
For people in the audience who remember that one.
What else do we want to mention? Let's shout out to our sponsors. ZBiotics saved my life in Denver.
There would have been no
almost
pod
died.
with you
Yeah,
last week
I
if
almost
not
died.
for the ZBiotics.
By the way, thank you for the ZBiotics spot.
You are so welcome. And shout out to
begged
Hookem who
Steven.
spotted me the ZBiotics last
Really?
week. Yeah, I forgot one, and he was kind enough to pay it forward.
Wow.
You know, so it's the greatest gift you can give people sometimes.
I do
is to
think
give
so.
them your
I
spare
do think so.
ZBiotics before they're about to embark on a night of drinking. Am I supposed to do this ad read? Is this my spot? We're so lost without Nick. Nick, what do we do?
Don't think of it as an ad read. Think of it as you telling me about ZBiotics.
No, it's not an ad. It's natural, man. It's like we're just having a conversation.
Just tell me about it, bro.
No. So for those of you who are
What
familiar
is
with
it?
the
Why
pod,
did you give me one?
you know we're a big fan of ZBiotics, which is a probiotic drink that you drink before you drink alcohol.
Yeah, so I knew I was going to be in
Yes.
high elevation, and it was going to be probably difficult. And so I definitely needed one. And I knew the first night in Denver would be a lot of drinking, so I definitely needed ZBiotics. And pretty much everybody in the community that has tried it has said positive things. So, yeah.
Yeah,
just
you go
feel
into the
better when you wake
Discord
up.
and you search ZBiotics, you will just see message after message of glowing review.
Yeah, I think the most
this
recent
thing.
one was from Tom Nom Nom, and he was like,
Tom Nom
"This
Nom.
is witchcraft" or something to that effect, which is a beautiful. That's a great quote. ZBiotics should use.
Yes. So you pop this thing. It's a patented formulation. This isn't some white label thing they sell at 7-Eleven. They make it custom. It breaks down with acetaldehyde.
Correct.
Is that the thing?
Yes.
That's the thing that happens. It's a thing that goes in the stomach when you drink and it makes you feel bad. And this
Yes.
breaks it down. Scientific explanation there. So you don't feel quite as crappy the next day.
That's phenomenal. The way I always tell people is like, you're gonna have drinks tonight. Order one extra drink in the form of ZBiotics. It's about that price, and have it before you drink, and you won't.
Yeah,
regret it.
Ethereum's $3,800. You can afford ZBiotics now.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear any more
exactly.
excuses, guys.
So right before we started recording, you poured yourself a bowl of Magic Spoon with a protein.
Wait, hold
shake.
on.
What? Oh,
ZBiotics.com
I'm sorry.
/alfalfa.
Thank you. For 15% off.
15% off your order. Help
Yes.
support the pod.
Yes.
Thank you. And yes, as you mentioned, I had my new favorite pre-pod meal, which is magic spoon in a bowl with
I had one today as
protein shake as the milk because we
So-
don't have milk in this office. So
well.
it's
No, but it's actually better. So I did the peanut butter today with a chocolate protein shake from Premier, and I poured it over it, and it was absolutely delicious. Like,
it's really good. Like
I actually just so we're clear,
13 grams of protein.
You know, I
in a
fast,
cereal.
like I intermittent
Yeah.
fast, and most days, like I don't eat until dinner. I usually have like a little bit of a snack, like beef jerky, hard-boiled egg, protein shake. I think most of the people in this office are kind of on the same page. Like, no one seems to eat here. Jimmy, do you eat? Okay, Jimmy's the only one that
Doesn't
eats.
look like Jimmy eats.
Yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy.
He's pretty
Jimmy
svelte.
eats, but I don't think anyone else eats.
Looks like Adrian eats.
Yeah, Adrian eats.
It's okay. He doesn't listen anyway. It's fine.
That's rude.
It's mostly
Poor
alcohol.
guy. That's true. He's liquid diet. So I had a full bowl. So that's 13 grams right there, plus the 30 grams from the Premier Protein. That's pretty incredible. Like I'm drinking alcohol now, so I'm happy.
It's good. 0
Yeah.
grams of sugar in this bad boy.
Yeah, so it's a very clean cereal. It reminds you of your childhood. It's got all the things you want and all the things you don't want in it, which is perfect.
Yeah. So magicspoon.com
Zero sugar.
/alfalfa or code alfalfa.
Yes.
Get a little discount on your first order. Help support the pod. This stuff is delicious.
I would recommend
I eat it
trying
daily.
a pack. Yeah, I really
Big
would.
fan.
My
Great
wife
snack.
loves it. I love it, and the community already seems to be jumping on it as well. So check it out.
All right. Cool. Well,
We did get a donation from the community. Rectum donated $69 to Pump My Bags Shaw Jr.
Oh my god! I have to tell that story.
who's Shaw
now.
Jr.?
Okay, so God, Rectum, I love you so much. So I got tagged in this promotional post by Founder Magazine from back
Oh,
when
Founder.
So back in the day, I was like this guy that would come into your company, media brands and creators and influencers, and I would launch their products and services. We had a
you were a
boutique
guru?
agency. Well, before I was a guru, I was the guy that would help the gurus. Yeah. So
Wait. So you were a guru to the gurus before you were a guru?
exactly.
That doesn't make logical
You like
sense.
that?
But go on.
So, well, no, I would say the guru started before the guru helper, actually, to be specific. So the guru helper went in and was a product marketing specialist, and I had a team of people around me, and we would help them launch products and services, like people like Lewis Howes and Neil Patel, and I developed like a great network. That's what led to even being recognized by Founder. But the point is, like, when I did the photo shoot with them, I was clean shaven, and you remember me because when we met, I was clean shaven.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
So is there like a magazine cover with you doing this pose somewhere?
Something like that, pretty much.
Chin just
Yeah.
looking to the side.
Yeah.
Hold chin.
I don't know.
I can't do it. I've
Let's
never
see
been photographed
let's
for
see
a.
if Jimmy can pull it up. It's Founder without the E.
Oh yeah, I found it. That's how you know it's good. It doesn't
Just
have
go
a
to
vowel.
images. And yeah, it's actually a funny pose I'm doing. Oh yeah, no. It's the second-
Oh, I remember this. Oh my god, put this on the
Oh
screen.
my god.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Is it on
Oh
the screen right
my
now? Oh my
God.
god. Okay, so it was
This
a
has,
different photo.
this has to be the NFT
It
for
was
this episode.
different. It was a different
Lucas,
photo.
if you're listening,
Oh my
this
god.
is the cover image.
I don't even know
New Bull
why.
Market.
I was like it was a puppet. It wasn't my. It's not my fault. I don't know how I went into this pose. It just happened.
Look how smooth you are.
Oh yeah, you got to
God.
point to the mind. It's all
Okay.
in the mind, Steven.
Okay, so this is actually a problem my brother used to have. I actually had this discussion with him once. I was like, okay, you need to grow a beard because your eyebrows are so thick.
Bro, by
that
the
the
way-
ratio on your face
No,
just
no,
looks
please,
weird.
let
You
me
get all this
explain.
hair up here,
Look
and then
at how thick my eyebrows
look at
are.
those brows.
So if you look at my eyebrows now, they look lighter, don't they? You
They're
know
still
why?
pretty thick.
Because I didn't understand the art of freaking trimming your eyebrows. Like that's something all men should be doing.
Wait, You trim your eyebrows?
Of course. When you have eyebrows like that? Are you kidding me? Dude, those are caterpillars. Look at those. Like, thank God I don't have a unibrow. Like, okay, you don't need to zoom in, Jimmy. We don't have to zoom in, but they are.
I just assumed
thick.
you were using one of
They
those
are
pencils.
thick. That is some black ink, brother. So started trimming them so they're at least a little more manageable. I think it looks way better that way. But yes, you do need some facial hair once you hit 30, in my opinion. I think that's the alpha. Anyway, that was before. So Shaw Jr., I guess, started happening on the YouTube live stream. People started calling me Shaw. But Shaw Jr., shout out to Rectum,
This
Shaw
is Shaw
Jr.
Jr.
It's me pre-beard. So that's that story. Let's move on.
Oh my God! I mean, I completely lost my
Can
train
you
of
tell
thought.
can you tell this is gonna be a great episode? Oh man. So, dude, did we cover? Oh, I want to throw it to David's.
Oh, yeah, let's talk
David
about East
Hoffman's
Denver real
tweet.
quick. So
we
we
did talk
were-
about it, but let's close it out. Yeah,
You want to call up David's tweet?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. We got that up there? Yeah, so thanks David. Shout out the Alfalfa community, one of the best in crypto. Signed bottle of whiskey from the host, from the listeners. He tweeted the lovely gift that we were given
Are we gonna drink it?
by our goatiest of listeners. Yes, we will drink it. We're just having the wine
you've
to
already
start.
started.
No, it came like this.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm joking. I had some.
Bastard.
So yeah, so some of our top goatee listeners who were in East Denver. We got Tunsky on here. We got Hookem and Tom Nom.
So this is a signed
and-
bottle of Stranahan's whiskey from Colorado, and it's a special edition.
Matt.
And I didn't think we were going to drink it, Steven. I thought we were going to just keep it.
Oh,
nice
Izzy
and
signed
full.
it too. Thank you, Izzy, for the food.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
She
I didn't get to try her food. She's an incredible
Cameron.
chef.
Cameronaut, of course. So, yeah, we had a nice little crew in East Denver, and a bunch of them got us this beautiful whiskey, signed it, wrote some loving messages. So, thank you
That's
so
a
much.
beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
I had tears when I got this.
I did
honestly.
too, dude. I did too. I
just
really tried to hold it back. Yeah.
Really tugged on the heartstrings.
Yeah.
Also, I tried it, and it's quite good.
I
so
honestly,
you're gonna
in
enjoy
a
it.
million years, did not expect that. Like, that was a beautiful.
Yeah, we
gesture.
were like, David, do your listeners buy you autographed whiskey?
Well, I have to say, David was so right, but the only thing he got wrong was he said one of the best communities in crypto. So
Oh, yeah.
there's only
I mean,
one.
come on.
It is the
best.
No, but thank you, David, for that shout and that recognition of a community that you helped create and seed, and that means a lot. And we actually did an interview on the Bankless podcast on Friday at East Denver.
We thought it was
round
going to be a
2.
podcast interview, and then we showed up to the ZK booth, which wasn't a booth. It was just like a stage with like
It was
50
beautiful,
people
though.
in the audience.
It was awesome. We had a live studio audience for the first time ever. It inspired me so much to actually move what we are doing today toward that vision. I mean, it was incredible to have, like, I just kept thinking to myself, I was like, what if we had, alfalfa people in that audience that actually were just like excited to, talk, ask questions, like interact. It would have been incredible. And I actually just loved the set. It was so awesome. So shout out to ZK Sync for setting that up.
That was a very alfalfa setup. Like, there's all these people in the audience. They're just
Yeah.
sitting there getting some work done. Maybe they're coding. They've been listening to all these talks on like, oh, what is the future of zero knowledge proofs? And then like, come on stage, and Eric's like, buy coin, you fucking losers. Buy coin or be
Yeah,
poor.
he-
And then Armand's like, have
he
you considered
repeated
leveraging your ETH to purchase NFTs? And then everybody in the audience is like, what?
I think they were. I'm pretty sure we were the most degenerate, money-focused group of people they've ever heard speak at a technology focused.
That was probably the most degenerate conversation that's ever happened at East Denver.
I
East
would
Denver's
agree.
usually pretty like buttoned up, builder focused.
I mean, you remember when I
conference.
introed us and myself, I literally went right into the fact that, like, we're here for we're not here for the tech as much as everyone else. Like we're agnostic. So I think it's important to make that clear. Like
You made it clear, bud.
I've made it clear.
You made it
But
clear.
you had an amazing episode. You got to really flex your knowledge to that audience, and I think that was really fun for me actually to get to kind of see you in that element with David, and it was really fun.
Yeah, and it felt good getting to be bullish like with David, you know, because
Yeah.
David's like always bullish, but like, you know, the first time we were on, David was bullish, and I was like, "You're so fucked, man," and he was like, "No, it's great," and then like negative 80% later, you know. So,
Yeah, I mean things have
so
changed.
we're aligned now.
Yeah, I mean we showed a picture by the way on the video. Do people know that we have video on Spotify? I should remind them we have
Yeah.
video on Spotify.
Yeah, video on Spotify. It's great.
So you don't need to go to YouTube.
Don't have to go to YouTube.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I look forward to growing the pod and doing that here every single week in and week out. I even had that thought. I was like, the podcast NFTs could be like a way to show up and get access to being in the studio, like in the podcast, you know, to be there for the recordings. There's so much that's possible.
So many ideas.
So many ideas.
So many ideas.
So many ideas. And shout out to the lady in the audience who, Jimmy, if you could just pull that up. Really appreciate your attendance.
Wait, who? What's her at?
Albi
It's like Albie or something.
Cocedes. Albi Codes.
Albie Codes on
Why did
Twitter.
I turn it into like an Argentinian name?
Yeah.
Albi Cocedes? No, Albi Codes.
Yeah, she posted a little
It's probably
selfie
Albie
of the
Codes.
thing on Twitter, and,
Shout out.
and Armand's radar perked up.
No, not at all. Just acknowledging
Say hello.
your presence and hope to join us in the Discord. And I don't know.
Only
you're
tagged David though, so I think she's
Yeah.
spoken for Armand. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. I don't know what you're saying.
I look forward to your
I don't know
future
what you're
groupies. They'll come.
I don't know what you're saying.
They'll
right
come.
now.
Hang in there, bud.
So shout out to you. I think it was a great shot of the situation. So what else we got here? Let's dive into the.
Yeah, let's dive in.
into
So
things.
as I alluded to, this pod was a poorly planned shit show because you refused to leave your computer to plan because you were obsessed with buying meme coins. It's been a bit of a meme frenzy this week. I mean, it's been a roller coaster week. Like Bitcoin literally hit 69,000.00, and then I don't know if you saw this, but there was some mega Chad who bought Bitcoin in like 2010. This wallet decided at 69,000 on the dot that he was just going to dump everything. So this guy basically nuked the whole market yesterday. And it looked really ugly for a second, but then,
How much did
4
he
hours
sell?
later, I don't know. I don't have the exact
Tens of
number. It
millions, right?
was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot of coin, like to basically stop the market right on the penny. 69,000.00.
What's crazy is the market nuked to like Bitcoin went down to like 59,000.
Dude, it was crazy vol. So when I woke up yesterday, Solana was like $143. I had limit orders on Solana at $102. They got filled. So like basically like a 40% ish move down. Like ETH, I think, had one of its largest kind of range days. Like it was crazy. Like massive vol yesterday. But it was like very short-lived pain. Like everything got bought up super fast, and everybody woke up today and was like, I didn't hear no bell, and then just went out and started just slinging meme coins, and memes have been going very nuts, especially on Solana, which is having like another resurgence. You know, we had the Solana pump in the fall, and then the
What would
ETH,
happen
ETH
if
people
like
bloated
in the
for a
middle
bit.
of this like Solana meme coin frenzy it just went down? Be pretty bad.
I mean, it will
It will.
at some point. You know,
Is that just part of the bag?
it's priced in.
Yeah,
Like if that's like the least of your worries when you're trading these things, you know.
I guess. No, I just mean, do you think that would negatively affect the meme coin market for Solana?
No,
No.
it's bullish. You can't sell.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody knows that. Come on.
Can't sell. I like that.
Well,
Why is it Solana? Is it just because it doesn't cost $60 to buy Zencoin?
I mean, so there's still memes on ETH. There's been memes going off on
I was
Base.
trying to buy Zincoin today. And I was yelling at Steven. I'm like, it costs $65 freaking dollars to buy this thing in gas. Like,
I'm looking at Armand's computer. He's trying to buy like $300 of Zincoin. It's like $20 to approve the token.
$350.
$60 to make the trade.
As an initial test buy, Steven.
So it's like it's like $80 into the trade, and then probably another $80 out of the trade.
I'm losing like.
I'm like, bro, you can't buy $300. You're gonna go.
No, I'm literally losing half. I was just trying to test it, dude. I didn't realize it was going to cost me
just testing
half
liquidity.
of the amount to like test this thing.
Oh no, I liked the Zin meme when you sent that to me. I'm a big believer in this idea that like memes are going to be like an enormous thing this cycle. We talked about it in previous episodes, and the idea that memes are just sort of like an expression of like the attention economy. Like what has attention?
That's exactly what it is.
And it has so much attention in the sort of zeitgeist that people are literally willing to purchase it.
You have the opportunity to trade the attention economy.
Yeah, and it's like a complete flip, right? Normally in the old world, right, if you're Zin, you pay money to put your product in front of people on like TV and magazines. But in crypto, because we are completely redacted and do everything upside down, we pay money to buy the Zin token and pump it and make it go viral like across all of Twitter. I wonder if there's going to end. I wonder. So we had some brands kind of dip their toes into NFTs last cycle. Mm-hmm. I want to know the first brand that launches their own meme token.
Well, this is a creator opportunity more than a brand. Well, it's both. It's creators and brands. But like even Trump, for example, like he's got his deal. Like
he's got his NFTs, and people have made
he's got his
Trump
coin. Too.
Well, he didn't make it though. You know,
he didn't make it.
No.
Okay, but is it his? Like, does he earn the?
No.
No?
No. That's just people launch coins. Like Trump has attention.
So
if you launch a coin...
how can you get away with that? How can you use someone's brand and likeness and name
Okay, so first of all, I don't know if you know this, but like I think you can make anything you want of the president. I feel like the president is actually...
Free range?
Yeah, fact check me on this, Jimmy, but I think everything about the president is like public domain.
Okay.
Like I think you can make merch about the president.
I see. But like, if I
Jimmy's gonna be like,
that's
Elon
not true. Like, how do we get away with like the Elon Musk one?
It's like the blockchain. What are you gonna do? You're gonna come after the decentrally deployed contract?
Right.
It's
that's what I figured is happening. It's just unregulated and it is what it is kind of deal. Right.
It's also anonymous, so it's like, who are you gonna go after?
Yeah. Who are you gonna?
OX. 50 characters. Like,
right. Right. Just can't really get sued. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this meme coin frenzy?
Well, I mean, I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. I think it's great. I mean, so we've talked about this idea about like have you heard us talk about like people talk about like the barbell portfolio in crypto where they're like, you need Bitcoin and you need like Solana and this like E thing is kind of in the middle. It's like, I don't believe in that. But I do believe there's something to the idea of the barbell crypto portfolio, which is sort of like holding majors and like holding really shitty low caps and
that's
memes.
what I just did today.
And yeah,
I thought you'd be proud of me.
You and I are in the same boat. Like, so
I am at the extreme ends of, I have nothing in the mid-market sector. I am full-blown trillion-dollar, coins or multi-hundred-billion-dollar coins and million-dollar coins.
Yeah.
Like that's my crypto portfolio.
Like the idea to me that you're going to invest in like MakerDAO because it like generates
I don't
revenue.
get that.
I don't care. I don't care
either.
But you could buy
I
like
agree.
Pepe, which goes up like 800% in like 7 days. And not only that, like you could put like millions of dollars of capital into it too. Like it's actually fairly liquid. Same with Doge. It's like a multi-billion-dollar asset.
It's too basic to look at this market as like a barbell opportunity though as well, because like there's mini micro metas within a grander meta. So like the sort of like Pepe meta is different than the crypto meta, which is different than the like meme coin meta. And you have to like participate in each of these to a degree at the different ends of the barbell. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like I that's the way I am approaching this. This is the way I'm thinking about this. I think of each of these games as sub games within the main game.
Yeah, I think that's true. It's like fractal.
Correct.
Like when we trade, we say like, oh, price is fractal. Like there's these things that exist on like the weekly chart, but then they also sort of exist on like the minute chart or something. And it's the same thing I think with this barbell theory, right? Because you can go and say like, okay, you have majors and then you have memes. But you can go within memes, and then within memes itself, you can also barbell, right?
Exactly.
And I think the best example of this right now is,
I
I think the biggest like kind of mid-curve meme right now is probably like bonk, I think, right? Because you have your primo meme, which is like, I think Doge, right? Doge is sort of like the Bitcoin of the memes. I don't think Doge is going anywhere. And you can argue about whether, you should invest in Doge or something else. But like,
Well, we're going to get to it, but
Yeah.
there's a 30%
we'll talk about
chance
it. And then,
of ETF.
yeah, and then you kind of got like Pepe, which is, I feel like Pepe, maybe Sheeb are kind of both like the sort of Ethereum
You're still on that
of
end
memes.
the
You're
spectrum.
still in the majors, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But then you have like the Solana of memes, which I think now is actually like dog with hat.
Yes.
Like if you look at a dog with hat chart versus Bonk, like Bonk is just bleeding to the hat. The hat remains
Dog with Hat
on.
might actually be starting. I don't know. It might be more mid than.
I don't think so. I
No?
don't think dog with hat is mid. But like I think there are a lot of
Market
memes
cap
that
is
are
pretty,
kind of
pretty big.
yeah. Like people are trading memes
I'm
on
looking at some
Solana
of the- I'm looking at
to
some of
rotate
these
the
new
profits
ones.
into dog with hat. you
Yeah.
know?
I agree with that. But I'm looking at some of these new ones that are coming out in the last few days. Like the Joe Bidens and the Donald Trumps and the Elons.
Joe Biden was an amazing one. I saw that today.
Did you buy it?
I did buy it.
So I
It,
bought
like,
I bought
spoke to me.
Donald, and I bought Baby Dog with Hat.
Yeah,
feel good
so
about
Baby Dog with Hat, I feel like is definitely
No.
just
Don't
the
put
most
it down.
mid thing.
Don't put it down. You're gonna hate
Like
your
the-
life when I'm up 10,000%.
Like, dude, somebody did Baby Doge like
And they
6
work.
year ago. No,
They
they
work.
don't.
Yeah,
They're
they
they're
do work.
terrible. No,
They
it's
do work.
so mid.
They do work.
Joe Biden was like amazing because it was like a new category, right? And then
Sure.
we had like the Sydney Sweeney and like
Yeah, that I liked. I like the
Elon
Sydney.
Musk.
I like
don't
the
know.
Sydney.
Jimmy, do we have like photos of these? Like I looked at the
What
Solana.
photo do you want? There's a fucking.
No,
token.
if you pulled up Deck Screener today at like some of them were bad. It had like Adolf Hitler and stuff.
It's so bad.
No, it's in the notes.
I mean, I don't mind if we just look at pictures of this actress you're referring to as well. What's her name?
Wait, do you not know who Sydney Sweeney is?
No, I could use a refresher.
Oh my god, things I have to explain to you.
What's she known for?
Crypto.
Yeah, her she was on SNL recently, and her boobs went like
Oh, is she the
extremely
girl
viral.
that terrified me in Lotus?
She's in Lotus. She's in
She
Euphoria.
was terrifying. Something about her look in her eyes.
You just feel like she'll ruin your life.
It was so succubusy.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
for sure.
Super
No, you're right.
succubusy. Do you get that?
Yeah. Like I see her, and my brain just flashes like.
Okay. Oh, I was terrified when I saw her.
Yeah, it's like
was like, I should
it's like
not look at
some
you.
arousal, some like
Oh,
you were about
it's
to
a lot
you're
of
about to be
arousal.
hurt. Go
But
away.
it's a lot of her.
Rectum's probably listening. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
all arousal, baby.
I think he knows exactly what we're talking about.
Rectum just boobs. That's what he comments.
Is that what she's about?
Oh yeah, there it is. See, Sydney.
Sydney Sweeney.
We got Sydney Zweeney, Michael Saylor. Oh, Xi Jinping. So Vladimir.
Oh, there's a.
Okay,
So I wanted to buy Closed AI. That was the one.
by the
I
way,
meant.
Spooder man, dude, this is definitely like this is like a Yaniv, right? They definitely set up some dev shop, and they're like, we're gonna churn
Yeah.
out like 100 of these memes with like the same thing, and one of them's gonna hit. We're gonna like somebody probably made millions
They
just
all hit.
propagating
They
this.
literally have all hit.
Yeah, I mean Joe Biden's been up
So-
a lot today.
Most
it's
of them
doing
have
well.
the exact same websites. If you go to the actual websites
Right.
for the tokens, they're like barely changing a few.
Oh, Jesus
Vladimir
Christ!
Putin.
Nice,
So,
Andrew Tate.
how does your moral? How do you feel in terms of like? Just is this okay? You remember when like NFTs were really frothy, and everyone was like, "This is my opportunity as a 19-year-old to just, generate some basic images and call them art and make millions of dollars." That is exactly what's happening here.
Oh, 100%.
But it's way easier.
100%.
It's
Yeah.
way easier. You don't need to start a Discord. You don't need to do a launch. You literally just create the token. You have one image, you create the token, and you send it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? You think it's great? Like, you really do?
I think it's great because
It's a casino. Can we talk about the casino aspect of this?
Yeah. So what I like about memes is that like a lot of crypto is about like obfuscation, right? Like at the base layer, you had kind of Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, right? And there's this underlying like real thing happening and a real movement to change the world, right? And that thing gets traction and everybody hops on board, and then all like the grifters come on board, and they're just trying to make money, so they launch a coin, and then they make a website with all this mumbo jumbo, put whatever the buzzwords are of the day, and then they launch a coin and raise money, and there's like it's just all of this like smoke and mirrors, but in reality it's just some guy trying to get rich.
Exactly.
What I like about memes is it's just like,
Dude, I
love
it just
everything
you're
it just
saying right
removes
now.
all of the bullshit.
It removes it all.
It's like, yo,
it's like, this is a
casino.
scam.
It's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to play casino game where these VCs and they all got like tokens at 1/100th of the
we're
price you're
backed
buying
by
it and they're
nobody.
dumping on you? Yeah.
We don't have
Or
any
do you want to buy
VCs.
Spooderman? You know? Some like autistic dev just
Dude,
launched the token. You can
I
verify
actually,
it's just all out there.
I
you know?
actually love it for the same reason, and I want to admit that I didn't fully get it at first. I didn't take it as a serious. Well, to be fair, I still do not take it. I stand by my statement that I do not take it as a serious asset class. I take it as this is a casino.
Wait, why
on
is
the
it
block.
not a serious asset class?
It's not. It's not.
Why?
It's not.
Why?
What is a serious asset class? Define it.
A serious asset class is any asset class that like attracts like massive amounts of capital and attention. Like you have to pay attention to it. You're saying serious as in,
under
like,
that, then sure. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like, memes
it doesn't,
are not-
It doesn't require that I need to like hold the asset for it to be serious. I agree with that.
like something like Dogecoin is not that much different than like Bitcoin the token. Like yeah, maybe like Bitcoin the network is but like Bitcoin the token, or like really any token like Solana, any of these tokens, they don't really do anything. They don't have cash flows. They're just sort of like attention plays. Like people buy them because other people are buying them. Right, like there's not that much of a difference when you kind of get down to the brass tacks of it, except for like the very, very few coins out here. But for the most part, it's all the same thing.
Yeah,
like if you think if you
my
think crypto
problem-
is serious, then you have to think memes are serious.
I think the way I see this is like my problem is like maybe it's not a problem. Like the sort of like meme coins today that are being traded in this like Solana casino in particular, you do have to have some like technical acumen to be able.
Not really.
Yes, you do.
Not really.
Yes, you do.
Like anybody
Yes, you
who's
do.
able to play like Fortnite online is able to buy these meme coins.
Okay, fine. That's the level. I think that's a fair level.
Okay,
to
well then
describe.
we agree.
But like I actually, where I would argue against myself is like to say that like no one over the age of like 50 is doing this. So then yes, everyone probably knows how.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with that. So that aside, though, it starts there at
400,
that level.
400 million people play Fortnite.
It starts at that level of like degeneracy, but then eventually it's listed on Coinbase. And when that happens, you know, when Pepe gets listed on Coinbase and these types of things happen, that's exciting for the early adopters. And that's when things start to take off. And I think we'll see.
Well, Coinbase
that
is usually when you
happen.
sell. Like
Sure.
you're buying these things in the hope that you're in before it gets listed.
No.
on
I'm not
Coinbase,
talking about
right?
our people. I'm just talking about like crossing the chasm. Like, what does it take for these meme coins to cross the chasm and become mainstream adopted things that like, okay, so you described it as a person who knows how to play Fortnite. How do you get the person that doesn't know how to play Fortnite to buy Joe Biden? Well, through Coinbase or Robinhood. What does that take? It requires it to cross the chasm and become somewhat more mainstream. So that's going to take time. And by the time that it gets there, the early adopters will be filthy rich, and those people will be picking up the bag. You following? You okay? You look perturbed.
So, I predict Robinhood this cycle is just going to go full tilt. Just launch all. They're just going to list meme coins, right? Just
Why
list
are you
every
looking
meme
all
coin.
weird? Why are you, so you agree?
So,
I think you added a bunch of fluff in there that like it just I don't.
Fluff?
Yeah, fluff.
What was the fluff?
It's just fluff or nutter.
What was the fluff?
I don't know. I have a very short memory, as you know.
one of our
What? So you're just insulting me for no reason?
Yes.
Okay, is that what this episode is going to be? So you literally agree with everything I'm saying, but you're just finding a way to say that it was fluff?
Oh, Max said Robinhood Europe.
Okay,
listed,
Steven, if
whiff
you want to get
already.
aggressive, like this is a whole different kind of episode. Like, what's happening here?
I think you're making this too complicated, crossing the chasm. It's just
That is literally one of the most famous books of all time in business about products and ideas and what it takes for them to cross into the mainstream. Like, what's your
memes
confusion?
don't need to cross into the. They're already.
Of course
here.
they do.
No, they're
They're
already
memes.
No, you already can buy them and make millions of dollars trading them. It's like the dream. It's the
They
dream.
still, like, if they cross the chasm, you make more money. They become more mainstream. Like, you walk into your barbershop and they know what the meme means. It means you make more money.
But we already have like meme. Like the Doge is already on Robinhood. Like all these memes are going to be on Robinhood. It's like the meme coins are actually great because unlike some of these other coins which are like securities, right? You have something like Doge. It's like hard to say Doge is a security. It's hard to say a coin where the dev just mints all the tokens and then revokes everything.
What is your argument here? Where is your disagreement?
I'm just saying, like you're.
Oh, I get it. You just don't want to agree. Okay, so that's all this is. That's all this is.
No, it's not all.
That's all this is.
You know what? I'm just gonna.
That's all this
I'm
is.
just
That's
gonna-
all this is. We're on the same
Jesus.
page. You have nothing. There's nothing to add here. Like let's just agree that I basically said what you believe as well. Yes?
No.
Oh my God. Oh, all right, Jimmy. What do you got? What do you got? Oh, are we going AI?
Are we moving on from the memes?
Are we done with- are we
wait.
done with the memes?
No. I want to drop one more thing before we move on with the memes. Can you put up the Andrew Kang take? I want to talk about Doge one more time because I thought this
Okay.
was kind of interesting.
Oh, I like this.
Because, okay, memes, in my opinion, are a very slept-on asset class still. There's something that people sort of laugh at as like something that's like an idiosyncrasy of crypto, right? It's like, oh, that's cute. But a lot of people, I think, would be shocked to learn like the volume that is traded in meme coins. They'd be shocked to learn that like Bonk and Whiff are worth billions of dollars, right? They'd be stunned to learn this, right? So when we talk about like front running the institutions and stuff in crypto, I actually think memes are great. Like memes are not some flash in the pan thing for me, right? This is going to be yet another thing that like 5 years or 10 years from now, we go like, wow, that's what the kids are doing. That's crazy. Nobody saw that coming, like a million other things. So Andrew Kang here had this interesting tweet. He said, I put the odds of eventual Doge ETF at more than 30%. Anything is possible with recent regulatory developments, Trump winning the presidency, and Doge being the most decentralized alt. Everyone is talking about the ETH ETF trade. Nobody is talking about the Doge ETF trade.
It's the first I've seen of it.
I love this take. Like I bought.
Me too.
As people know, I bought a lot of Doge a few weeks ago. Doge is really interesting to me. It's got Lindy. It's this old token.
Did that have anything to do with our bet?
What's up? Oh, the Pepe bet that you're getting destroyed in?
You
I mean, I own Pepe as well.
You mean the comment you just made about buying a lot of Doge?
What about it?
I'm just saying the comment.
I
you
bought
just made.
Doge at 8 cents. You can go check the chart for when that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You can check the tape. I got
Do
some
you remember when
past
I
podcast
texted
episodes.
you in 2021 buying Doge, and you were like, "Are you insane?" Yeah.
No,
Still have it.
like
buddy.
I've always said that like Doge is like an interesting play.
Oh,
Go
God,
pull up
don't
your
make me
like
pull
anybody who's listened to
receipts.
this podcast knows
Don't
I
make me pull
Ar-
receipts, brother. Oh, please
Armand
don't
has like
do this.
I'm in like
Please
your
don't do
I'm in like your
this.
fucking dreams, right? You're just dreaming about like dunking on me, like oh, Steven
I am
told
not
me
dreaming
to
about
buy it.
anything. I'm dreaming of the day that you recognize the truth. Like, just acknowledge the things that happen as they happen.
I've loved Doge
I'm
for a long
literally
time.
just. Oh, God.
Look,
That's okay. This is, to be
I have
honest,
theories.
this is part of your character.
I put my money where my mouth is.
This is part of your character.
I am in the
I love you
arena,
for it.
okay? I am in the fucking arena.
Yeah.
What are you
Yes,
doing?
bro. Yes,
Commenting
bro.
from the sideline.
I'm happy.
I don't need to take this
I'm,
shit.
I'm happy from my second level seats right now.
Yeah, that's right. Good. Anyway, I think Doge is a super interesting thing to have in the portfolio because, like, we talk about stuff getting listed as an ETF, and people are like, "Oh, will Link be an ETF? Will Solana be an ETF?" And these things are kind of dicey because when you look at the coin, it's like, some foundation holds all the tokens and they raised money. Doge is just like some dev created it and put a dog on it and like released it all and like nobody control. It's like
So
it's
that makes
actually
it
kind of like
more
Bitcoin.
likely?
It's very much like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like
it
if you
is.
look at like Bitcoin, Doge is like Doge is more similar to Bitcoin than like Ethereum, right? Like I think if you allow an Ethereum ETF, you 100% have to allow a Doge ETF. The market is not ready for Doge
Isn't it
ETF.
a better example to say if you allow a Bitcoin ETF, you allow a
No,
no?
because I think like so Ethereum has like a futures a CME contract, right? But like Ethereum had a pre-sale. There's the Ethereum Foundation. You've got like large holders like Joe Lubin and Vitalik. They have like all these coins. Like Doge was just, I think it was just mined like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It
One of
was
my
just- it was
favorite
just a meme.
follows on Twitter is the founder of Doge. He's actually an awesome dude. Shibatoshi. Is that his name?
Shibatoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait,
He's
you know
a
him?
great follow.
Oh, you follow him. Okay. Yeah, he's funny. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, I don't know him. Is he a real person?
Yeah,
Do I get to actually meet that guy one day?
I hope so,
Unlike
man.
the Satoshi.
It's funny the parallels between like Bitcoin and like
Love to have
Doge.
that
You've just
guy.
got this to get this guy who just created Doge. It's like he's still alive and he's Shibatoshi.
I think it's amazing. The other person I love is Sartoshi, the founder of MFers.
Oh yeah,
Love that guy.
big fan.
Big fan.
Big fan. By the way, one other thing about Doge, you're an NFT guy. Are you familiar with ordinals?
Yeah.
Did you know that there's doginals?
Yes.
Do you own any doginals?
Not yet. I
I kind of want to pick up a.
I am behind
frick
the
ton of
Bitcoin NFT
doginals.
trade. I am too far behind. I know the signs. I've been through cycles. I've been through one NFT cycle and two previous crypto cycles. There's no way I'm chasing the Bitcoin NFT cycle. It's not happening. for
I
me.
have a totally different. I'm. It's my life's mission right now to acquire a Bitcoin shroom. I've decided.
I mean, I agree with that take. I looked at that and I think that still timing is okay. But like in terms of some of these other ones, I think the timing is missed.
I don't know. It's funny. I've had like a weird journey with Bitcoin NFTs. Like when they came out, I was like, okay, guys, like that's cool. You're just copying like the ETH NFT.
I mean,
thing.
they finally found like their utility use case, which is a beautiful thing.
It makes sense for Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is just this thing you just like buy and bury in the backyard and give to your grandkids. You don't use it, but that's kind of what you do with like rare art.
Isn't it kind of funny that they just like shat on Ethereum and then they just sort of like became that?
It's not even like like a huge chunk of the Bitcoin community hates it. Like you've got like the Eric Walls and the Udis of the world who are like, this is great. Like we're generating fees, the chain's being used, and then you
Right.
have like kind of like your Luke Dash Juniors and whatnot being like, this is terrible. Jesus hates this. We're gonna like ban all these NFTs. It's kind of funny. Like Bitcoin
Majority
is not.
hates it?
It's not like a monolith, right? Like there are these different crowds within Bitcoin.
But
And-
isn't it funny to you?
Yeah, it's very funny to me, but it's also normal. Like I think no matter what you have, you split into like factions. There's just always some faction here and some faction here. It's just like human nature. Like you have to like zoop into these two crowds that just fight
Isn't
each
it
other.
funny because like you take a country of homogenous culture where there's a clear through line, like I don't know, like one of the most interesting examples of this is like India. Like everyone's Indian, but it's the most heterogeneous culture ever. Like everyone is Indian, and yet there's 500 languages, religions, so many ethnicities, so many differences. And I think that's naturally something that happens. Sometimes it happens as a result of just pure geography and who becomes what and who you indoctrinate into your culture, into your empire lines, into your nationality, all that. But I agree with the point that like you can never really have like a pure, sort of just like everyone's the same ideology culture. Like eventually factions break out. Like that's just part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Like Ethereum's kind of remarkable to me in that regard.
It
And
doesn't. It doesn't
actually
have
is
these big breaks.
fairly. I mean,
I
obviously
was
there
worried
are
about
people.
ETH Classic. I was worried about the proof of work chain splitting off when the merge happened and becoming a whole faction of
Oh,
people.
that was never going to happen.
Dude, but that was a real concern.
It was not a real concern.
It was.
It
was a real
gonna
concern
have to
amongst
strong,
some people.
Like 6 people. I'm not just doing this for the lulz. That was not a real concern.
It was a concern for some people.
All right.
I'm illustrating a point.
Some people did
illustrating
something.
a point.
Yes, you can always find some people, but like it was nothing like the Bitcoin Cash. It was
Sure.
nothing like the big block, small block thing. Like Bitcoin has had these crazy civil wars, right? Like big block, small block, like
Well, I
tore
think
the whole
it's
community
more
apart.
common. Well, that's psychologically very clear to me. The winner, who's number one, must maintain homogeny. Must. If it doesn't, it fails. It loses to number two. Number two is constantly looking for alternate. Number three, number four are looking for more paths to ascend number one. Because what are they doing? They're optimizing for speed of growth. Number one can never break. If number one breaks, they know internally that it's over. So the reason that the number one is so conservative and homogenous is because that has to be part of the entire ethos of the brand and the culture. Otherwise, it's dead. Like, if you were a gang and you were the biggest gang and everyone was after you, you would never allow factions to break out. You would know that you need to maintain harmony in order to beat the opposing team. Same thing goes for war, right? Like when countries battle against each other, like there's so many analogies to this. But like that is why Bitcoin tends to be slower, tends to be more conservative. I am super surprised by some of the things that I've seen within the Bitcoin community with ordinals, with NFTs, because it goes against everything. And so I think what started to happen is like, hey man, we got to participate in some of this. Like, how do we do it? You know, that's currently where they're at. And then now they're like, shit, in the last 7 days, was it 7 days or 14 days? They have more volume than Ethereum does in the NFT space. It's a pretty big deal. And you want one of them.
I do want one of them. Yeah. I think listening to you talk, I realized that one of the reasons why ETH doesn't have the same sort of faction split that Bitcoin does at the moment is because I think Bitcoin itself is just inherently more of a cult, right? Like I think if your entire thing is grounded in the idea of something, like there's like you can't look at Bitcoin and be like, oh, here are all these like fundamental things that are driving value. It's just a giant idea. It's a utopian vision for how the world could be someday, and then people are battling over this utopian vision, and it's like the same as like religion. And in a world where you can't point to anything like super tangible that's happening that's grounding you in reality. Like all you have is like adherence to the religion, right? Versus like I think ETH is like more pragmatic, and they're trying to build things that people use, and you have metrics like, oh, like people seem to be using stable coins a lot, and we're settling like hundreds of billions of stable coin volume, and that's good, right? That's evidence it's working. But in Bitcoin, nothing is happening in the modern world, right? You're trading some like NFTs, but in reality, you're still talking about this like end state, decades in the future, where all of the fiat currencies have fallen and everybody's picked up Bitcoin as the standard, and you're sort of like talking about like the coming of Jesus. It's like the future like apocalypse that's going to come, and you're proselytizing about that. Whereas like ETH is like grounded more in like the free market, I guess, versus like religion. So I think that's what's going on there.
It's a good take.
Yeah.
I've got a take on this.
Yeah?
I think that Bitcoin is like De Beers and represents diamonds and that whole world, and Ethereum is a lot more like Standard Oil, where it's a use case. Standard Oil was huge with the growth of automobiles, like what is actually using ETH, rather than just like who's buying it. Diamonds have always gone up forever, and same with oil. But diamonds are more of like, I got it on my engagement ring, I got it in my wedding band, whatever, but I don't use it, unless I'm doing deep sea mining, and need like a diamond tip. Whereas like Standard Oil, you're going to be using it all the time. So.
What do you think about that?
No, I was going to ask you what you think about that. Jimmy's dropping some fire, bro.
Jimmy's dropping takes. The main thing a Bitcoiner is going to listen to this, and he's probably already yelling, or she is probably already screaming. He's like,
Definitely
you
yelling.
motherfucker, diamonds are manufactured scarcity. We have tons of diamonds in the world. There's so many diamonds, and there's a centralized entity that takes the diamonds and makes them artificially scarce.
we
And
could
my
go to
precious
another-
Bitcoin is verifiably.
Yeah, it's verifiably. We could
Code.
go to another planet right now, pull every mineral we've ever needed, more than we've ever had on this planet, but manufacture scarcity. Because one person or a few people become the majority conglomerate owner of that. And that's all it takes.
I think this like concept of like scarcity is like really interesting, because
It is
like
interesting.
one of the problems I have with Bitcoin is that and this isn't actually a problem with Bitcoin. Bitcoin
Did you get
is
to
just,
the part of Cat Williams talking about that, by the way?
Yes.
On the Joe
that
Rogan.
was I have some thoughts on that interview. Maybe we'll put a pin in that.
We got to move on to the rest
Put
of
a pin
this
in that.
show, dude. We have a ton of stuff
All right.
on the docket.
The one thing I'll just leave people with is like, I have a problem with this idea that like Bitcoin is valuable because it's scarce and the code only lets you have so many of it. And like Ethereum is not good because it's not scarce and the code allows for an indeterminate amount of Ethereums to exist. Like, I don't think there are
it's
plenty
dumb.
of things in the world
It's
that
dumb.
are scarce and they're not valuable just because they're scarce. I've never understood that argument, and I don't necessarily think that money is better if it's fixed. It's I don't know. We'll move on from that. That could be a whole.
Agreed.
That could be a whole thing. Let's pivot to tech. Let's talk about some tech stuff. We had a lot of stuff going on in the tech world this week. AI specifically. We talk a lot of AI in the show. So Anthropic announced Claude 3. Some people are calling it better than GPT-4. Some are feeling Claude has reached AGI level. Are you familiar with Claude?
Familiar with Claude. We've been testing it today at Steno. My two co-founders, well, one of them got back saying that he was blown away at its coding capabilities, that it's less lazy than GPT. So for those that don't know, Claude is Anthropic's large language model. You can go right now and use Claude for free, just the same way that you would use ChatGPT. You can use, I don't know what it's called, the current model that they just switched to. It starts with an S, like Solder or something. I don't know. It's some weird name, Spotter. But Opus is their new high-end model available for developers only. They drew benchmarks that showed that they outperformed GPT-4. So the way that the AI industry measures performance is across a series of benchmarks. It has to do with how does it summarize, accuracy, retrieval, all different types of things. And it has exceedingly done well on various benchmarks. And so some people are saying this is better than GPT-4, and it's only been out for a day. And a lot of people are testing it and feeling very optimistic about it. I try to avoid these AI influencer boys on.
It's like a whole thing on Twitter
It's
now,
a
right?
whole thing.
My feed is
Dude, they're so
like
cringe.
infested with them.
They're so
It's
cringe.
like a bunch of
because-
like AI
because
Adam
the tweet always
Cochrans
starts
with, like,
with something so ridiculous like ChatGPT is dead. It's never life will never
Yeah, you
be
get
the
your little,
same
like,
again.
hook at the beginning.
And it's like, why is this tweet getting likes? Like, why are we supporting such garbage?
It's like they're all like
media?
they're like. Do you know Carl the Moon?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's like all like it's all like the Moon Carl, but like AI. It's so it's so bad.
It's not good. It's
Oh,
not good.
Yeah, like I followed a few people when AI became a thing because I'm like, God, I gotta like
Yeah, you
really
gotta
catch
keep
up
up.
on this. But then Twitter
They're
just like
so
fed
cringe.
me just like processed carbs, just
Dude,
like fatten
they're-
yourself up, baby.
They're the worst. And so there's only a few people I follow on a Twitter list that I created.
Do you
for
have
AI.
any? Do you have any good
Why-
follows for people?
I create lists. Yeah, I
Oh, you
fo-
should make that. You should make that list public.
I
You can share.
guess I follow builders. Like I don't
Builders?
follow curators.
Mm.
Like curators suck. Not a
Some-
fan. Oh no. Well, there's a couple good ones.
Yeah.
There's a couple good ones, but they're maintaining integrity. They have a newsletter that's actually worth subscribing to. I mean, I'll tell you, like I'll call it out. Like I'd be happy to, but I don't really have one right now that I can think of off the top of my head. But let's like, dig into the meat here. This is really good for for AI.
The chat wants you to unlock your list.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I've been curating a list over the last couple years with AI. I'd be happy to unlock the list. I'm a big fan of lists on Twitter in general. Are we ready to call it X yet?
No.
No.
Okay. When you guys are ready, let me know. 'Cause then
I
I'll
will
switch
never
as
be
well.
ready.
No?
You put that on my tombstone.
I mean, the fact that the URL has not redirected to x.com says a lot. I believe that when the URL redirects and actually becomes x.com, people will call it X. So it's that simple. It's still twitter.com for most people. It's a really good sign. There's an incredible opportunity to build as a startup on something that is cheaper, better, and more available than OpenAI. That is profound. That's really big. And so a lot of startups are switching to Claude 3 on Opus, which is like, you know what was the most funny about Gemini? The 5% of AI listeners out there will laugh about this. So there was like Gemini and there was Ultra. So when Gemini came out with their most recent update, they were like, we just beat GPT-4. Do you remember that? It was like a month ago.
All I remember is Gemini drawing Black George Washington and Asian Hitler. Asian female Hitler. That's all I can think of when I think of Gemini now. So anytime you say Gemini and you're asking me
I
some
have a
nuanced
tweet.
question, I just see Black George
Oh, that's
Washington and
so
Asian
bad.
female Hitler.
That's so bad because
Yeah.
I have a tweet for that. The point is that they came out with a new model. You know, they've been hyping this model. The founder of DeepMind has been hyping this model for 6 months. And he's been saying, we have the ChatGPT killer. For 6 months, he's been saying this. he dropped this bombshell, and everybody in AI was waiting for Gemini. When Gemini finally came out, they didn't allow most people to access Gemini Ultra. Like nobody, like most people I know, I'm like, what is Gemini? Like Ultra, the model that they said outperformed GPT-4, like most people don't have access to. So it was a fugazi, man. It was just their way of.
Fugazi.
They're behind.
Google's behind.
They're behind.
Do you think Google's? Do you think Google is Kodak?
Whoa, you
Are
know
they
what's
toast?
ironic?
Are they toast?
Anthropic is funded by Google now and Amazon. Like they're just taking the money and performing. Dude, Google is a multi 10,000 plus, multi tens of thousands plus person company. When you're a startup, this is what I tell startups. When you're a startup of 5 people and you're worried about competing against Google, oh my God, it's hundreds of thousands. 156,000. When I was
Wow.
at Google, that's wild.
Yeah.
When I was at Google, it was 30,000 people. I guess I was speaking from that lens.
190. 190 in 2022.
Oh my God, 190,000
It's
in
like
2022.
Incomprehensible to me.
That's insane. What was I saying?
Wait, when you worked at Google,
Oh, right.
was it ever since the Gemini thing came out and it started doing Black George Washington, and then they pulled it, and then the stock like dumped lots of money in value. People have been talking about like the culture, the quote unquote woke culture. There's these sort of like structural things in Google that have all this power, and like people with brains just feel like they can't say anything because they're gonna get like persecuted by the mob. Was it like that when you were there?
It was.
Even when you were there, and this
Yeah, it was like
this
that
a while
12
ago, right?
years
Was it-
ago.
Yeah, so 12 years ago, you already saw the seeds. Of
Yes.
this. Interesting.
Yes, that's what I wanted to mention today.
Yeah. So what did you see?
It was like that. It was like you weren't allowed to have an opinion
An opinion about white
about
people?
anything. About anything.
Positive opinion about white people?
No,
or?
no. It wasn't so extreme back then. White people weren't being persecuted yet.
Who was being persecuted 12 years ago, though? Like,
Well-
there was already something.
Well,
amiss.
minorities were, and they still are, and that's a fact.
No, but who's being persecuted
But
in Google?
In Google,
Yeah.
the conservative.
Okay.
The
So even
conservative.
back then, like
oh, yeah.
people talk about how
My
Google is
buddy
like
who was
96% donate to Democratic Party or whatever.
Yeah, so I'll never forget. I think I told this story on the pod one time, but there was one conservative guy in my department of like 100 people, and he was
That people knew of. Like he chose to out himself.
Oh, exactly. Yes.
Man,
He
that
was-
guy's got a death wish.
He had balls, and
He must have been
was
like an insane engineer.
chastised.
Was he like the GOAT engineer? He was so good that he didn't even care.
He was actually the GOAT. He was in sales.
He was in
a
sales.
GOAT. Yeah.
God,
yeah.
I just said GOAT, and I was just reminded of the Cat Williams episode. God damn it.
I don't even know. I didn't even get to that.
There
part
was a
of it.
part in the Cat Williams. I had
didn't even get to that part of it.
Me and Tom Nam had a whole thing in the Discord. There was a part in the Cat Williams Joe Rogan where he was saying that like they incepted GOAT into us because it like forwarded like the transgender ideology somehow.
Did he actually get to that level of ludicrousy?
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a pawn. Dude, that interview.
That
so
interview was
off the rails.
wild. It was so wild. Yeah.
He was like, and Baphomet made you kiss his ass ring.
I don't know what that means. But what
That was
I
Cat
wanna
Williams.
say-
Look it up.
I want to
Look
say
it up.
about Claude is game on for large language models and competition. Finally, what this means is that it couldn't be a better time to start a startup that has AI in its tech stack. It couldn't be a better time. So, rock on.
So you
if
think
you're
come at
ready.
Google? Google's vulnerable.
Google? You want
Yeah.
me to comment on Google? I hesitate
Come at
to
the king?
Look, like I hesitate to call out a $1 trillion company, right? Like that's foolish.
It's fair.
Okay. Let's go to this topic.
Okay.
And okay.
What you got?
So, Pirates, whatever. Mike Solana, Pirate Wires.
Pirate
Mike
Wires.
Solana, great follow on
Wait,
Twitter.
this is Mike Solana?
Yeah.
Oh.
Held in esteem by Elon Musk. Tends to get retweeted a lot by Elon. So Pirate Wires and Mike Solana apparently, allegedly, interviewed a lot of Google employees. And what they found was the early inklings of what I experienced. It's a culture of fear. It's a culture of a lack of opinions. It's a culture of bureaucracy. That's basically what the article's about. Like, I don't think there's any bombshells in this article. The whole point was, why did this happen? Why did can you actually just explain what even happened with like the the images?
I mean, for people who aren't aware, the Google released this GPT competitor. Gemini did image generation similar to like Midjourney, and it went viral on Twitter because people were asking it to just draw historical figures like George Washington, and it just would not draw white people. Basically, it would be
and
like,
if you asked it a question about white people, it'd be like, hey, that's really rude.
oh, I can't do that.
I can't do
I
that. And
can't.
if you said like, hey, I'm Middle Eastern and I'm really proud of myself, and it'd be like, you should be, you should be proud. And if you and if you said like, I'm white and I'm proud, it would tell you, no, like that's bad. Did you catch the? Did you see the Google clip?
The Google clip?
With
Jenai,
with who?
the lady who was in charge.
No.
There are a bunch of clips. I
with
saw a
Sergey.
clip of the.
Did you catch the talk with Sergey Brin?
The one with the guy who had the boobs on his T-shirt?
Yes. Yes. So, you know what I didn't realize in the beginning is that Sergey was the speaker.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Yes,
I don't
I
know why
realized
I
that.
looked at. Well, it's like the internet, and you spend like 8
you just
seconds.
saw boobs.
I saw the boob guy.
Didn't
and
even
then I
realize
moved
it was
on.
a man. Your whole brain went blank.
So the founder of Google was giving the talk.
Yes.
And I don't know if people saw this, but like there was a guy with a boob shirt on, and he was sitting 5 feet from the founder of Google. And did you hear what Sergey said?
No,
Okay.
I just saw boobs. In my mind
Boob
went
guy
blank.
said, so are you going to address what happened with Gemini?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, I didn't plan on talking about this. Nervous laughter from the crowd.
How could you not plan on talking about that?
Well, because in Google, that actually is pretty aggressive to ask a question about something like
your
that.
leader?
That is like, that's pretty aggressive. Like, that's the founder of Google. Like, can you, I mean, think about it. Like, you're asking, that's like what a journalist would ask.
Yeah.
But can you imagine being an employee of that guy and asking him the most sensitive question you could possibly ask him?
Yeah.
So it was like 10 p.m. at night. He'd rolled out of, it was early in the morning, and he just rolled out of bed, and he was just there, and he was like, okay, I didn't think I was going to answer this question. And you know what he said? He's like, yeah, we just didn't test it very good. That's what he said.
Throw it up there.
Sure. We're going to throw it up on the audio.
I mean, once you see that guy wearing that shirt, you got to know that question's coming.
Hopefully we have audio.
We definitely messed up on the image generation, and I think it was mostly due to just like not thorough testing.
We didn't test it thoroughly.
We didn't test
We
it
just,
thoroughly.
who,
That's his answer.
Who could have noticed that this thing didn't draw any white people?
So-
Or that it depicted Asian.
I just want to say
Nazis,
one
you
more
know?
thing about this, and I'd love to move on. But when people say to me, like, Armand, I'm afraid of competing against Google, I'm like, listen, brother, or sister,
Brother, Google can't draw George
listen,
Washington.
listen
You're
to me.
good.
You are competing against a vice president who's fighting through 6 months of red tape and a product manager who doesn't know half the fucking shit that you do.
Oh, he's coming alive.
So go get it, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they are asleep at the wheel, and they're probably going to end up buying you. So get to work, dude. Get to work, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're a 180,000 person company that can't get shit done, and I'm speaking as a person who formerly worked there, who loved it, who absolutely adored it. But when it comes to competing against it, come on, man. Like, you have the advantage. You have the advantage. They have all the bureaucracy and red tape in the world, and you have no limits. You have no constraints. Go get it. The world is your oyster. Go get it.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
That's one of my favorite quotes.
Give me that techno red meat.
No, seriously.
Love it.
Seriously.
Love it. Feed me. All right, let's you want to talk about the AI influencer? You want to go there?
Do you want to hit the
Let's do
political
it.
realm before we go?
You want to go there? All right. You want to? Let's take a quick. We'll take a quick
And then-
swivel
and
into
then
the. I know.
I-
You want to close with that for dessert. Okay.
Yeah.
Teaser.
We
That's
don't
coming
have
up
to spend
last.
long on this. We don't have to spend long.
Yeah.
on
So
this.
you dropped a couple things in the old chat chatteroo. You want to talk about What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the Paul Graham thing?
Sure.
You want to talk about? Okay. Let's pull up the Paul Graham mini essay.
So I think I'll just read this.
Yeah, just read it. It's short. Well, it's a short summary. So he wrote a little thing about inequality, which is the thing we've touched on here.
Yeah. So
thought it was good.
we've talked about inequality a lot on this podcast, because, I mean this podcast is mostly like you're actually the only white guy.
I am 25% Native American. sir.
Okay. Okay.
I'm honestly offended.
And
that
like so Italian and so native and like, okay, but you get my point.
Eric's only twice as white as I am.
He's actually twice as white as you are.
Okay, and he's like Swedish white. I'm like
You know what the
Italian
funny
white.
thing
So
is?
we're basically like equally as white.
He's
Okay.
no, he's more white.
Yeah, no, he is
More
more white.
white.
I agree.
He doesn't look more white, but he is more
Swedish
white.
is so white.
Swedish
it's like
is so white.
It's like Wonder Bread.
He's 50% white.
Yeah, like even more. There's like a plus 20% in your white.
But what I'm trying to say is like I think this group tries to really be intellectually honest about this topic. Like there is no outcome here other than like what is genuinely the truth about equality. So Paul Graham, famed founder of Y Combinator, writes prolific essays.
Yeah, read to me in that sweet velvety voice while I drink this alfalfa
Why
whiskey.
don't you pour me a sweet
Yeah,
velvety
let me-
whiskey as well?
Let me pour you some whiskey.
I need some ice. So in 2016, Paul wrote an essay called Economic Inequality. And one of the wonderful things is that he automatically has like, do you want the short version or my response to this version or person or that version?
Love that, by the way.
Person, like it's a nice feature. So I'm just going to read you the short version and then we're going to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, gimme.
My mouth is so dry.
Do you need some whiskey?
No, I'll survive.
Okay.
Okay, so we love this topic because the point is that we want equality, but at what cost?
Do we? I'm just
Exactly.
kidding. I want equality.
No, exactly.
I do.
No, but again, there's nuance. Do we want equality? What type of equality? At what cost? So Paul says, this is the abbreviated version, of course. You can read it on paulgraham.com. Lots of people talk about economic inequality. Nearly all say it is bad if economic inequality increases, and that it would be better if it decreased, of course. But economic inequality per se is not bad. It has multiple causes. Many are bad, but some are good. For example, high incarceration rates and tax loopholes are bad things that cause increase in economic inequality. But startups also increase economic inequality. A founder whose startup succeeds will end up with stock worth a lot of money. But unlike high incarceration rates and tax loopholes, startups on the whole are good. Since economic inequality per se is not bad, we should not attack it. Instead, we should attack the bad things that cause it. For example, instead of attacking in economic inequality, we should attack poverty. Attacking economic inequality would be doubly mistaken. It would cause harm. It would harm. I'm struggling here. It would harm the good as well as the bad causes. But even worse, it would be an ineffective way to attack the bad causes. It will not do a good job of fixing the bad causes because the bad causes of economic inequality unless we attack them directly. But if we fix all the bad causes of economic equality, we will still have increasing levels of it due to the increasing power of technology. So, what do you think about that, Stephen?
Well, first of all, I think you've had a few too many drinks, but
Oh,
we'll let that
really?
slide. No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
I didn't
You
even
wanna call
notice.
me out for that?
It's all in good fun. I'm just jealous of your voice. It's so smooth, so smooth. I mean, I agree with this, like most all of it. I think that, like, we've talked about this. I think a long time ago we had an episode on inequality back when we were doing 3-episode bonanzas in a single night because we'd lost our minds. I've always it's always grinded my gears when people talk about like inequality, because like inequality in my mind doesn't matter. What matters is what is the bottom rung doing. Like, I don't care if there are trillionaires walking around in society, like if everybody's like living a pretty good life. Like if everybody's baseline life is like Copenhagen, but there's some like trillionaires walking around,
So
it's
isn't
fine,
he
right?
essentially talking about exactly what we tend to talk about, which is like the inequality exists in these levels where the bad things are, if you focused on the bad things, they're actually not that bad.
Yes, but I think the main problem with this is that like a lot of people's thinking stems from like there's this first principle where they view the world and everything in it as like sort of like a zero-sum game. If somebody is getting rich, it means somebody else must be getting poor. And I think that sounds kind of silly to you and I, but I think a lot of people actually view the world that way. Like they don't view the sort of global economy like it is like it is undeniably positive sum, right? Like if you go back 2,000 years, it's not like Jeff Bezos has like a super yacht because we just took all the existing resources on Earth and divided them equally, and then he like got a bunch of them, right? Like capitalism produced a bunch of stuff, brought a ton of people out of poverty, and it's been extremely good overall for people, right? Mm-hmm. It's not negative sum. So you can't just simply solve this by chopping the head off some people and giving money to the people at the bottom. Doesn't make sense at all. I think that you agree with me, I'm guessing, even though you used to be a bit of a communist in your younger years.
So are you.
Yeah, I mean, I flirted with the idea of it for sure.
No, you've spoken on this podcast about being a radical Marxist.
I don't think I used the words radical Marxist, but I did like
I think
Bernie
that's a good way to
Sanders.
characterize it. No, you did say that. I'm pretty sure we could find that.
You
did say I was basically like borderline Marxist.
It's a seductive thought. The idea.
Everyone in college is.
Yeah, I mean, college is very toxic in that way. It's such a simple idea. The idea that everybody would be equal, if not but for all the evil exploiters at the top of the system. But I don't know. I think like my one of my favorite economists, Thomas Sowell, like he has a great quip about this, and I think it's in his book Discrimination and Disparities, and he's like a whole chapter about how if you isolate twins, right? Like brother and a brother, sister and a sister, brother, sister, with the same DNA, born in the same family. And he talks about like the disparities in outcome for these people in life. And like his point is like, hey, if we can't have two people with the same DNA born in the same household coming out to equal outcomes, what the hell makes you think that we're going to create some society, build all this like kind of bureaucratic infrastructure around it, and like even the playing field? Why do you think that that would even be like the base case to begin with, that like everybody would come out roughly even, if not but for all these kind of forces holding people down?
100%.
You know,
The most important part of Paul Graham's essay is this: since economic inequality per se is not bad, we should not attack it. Instead, we should attack the bad things that cause it. That's it. Like, that is the entire essay in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Stop attacking these vanity metrics and attack the cause. The cause is the underlying reason that these things happen. And everyone is focused on surface level attributes of things that they think that they can control and change. It's insane to think about the amount of money and time and energy that is spent on trying to change surface level characteristics of society that don't address the underlying causes of what would actually impact economic inequality in a positive way. Like, it's wild. It's actually wild. Most of our tax dollars go to things that will never make a difference. And most of those tax dollars, by fact, never actually make their way down to the causes themselves, because they change so many hands between the moment that you pay your taxes to the moment that they make it to the cause itself. And even the same thing exists in the world of nonprofit, right? Like, so many people have this like struggle with donating to nonprofits, that how much of my dollar is actually going to make it to the bottom line cause and create an economic impact. The point being here is like, we need to focus on the root causes, and the root causes are where it's at, the bad things that cause it.
I would argue that it's not even necessarily a bad thing. I would argue that it's a byproduct of like a good society. Like, I think if you were to draw like some sort, if you were to plot economic inequality and sort of the generalized wealth of a society over time, like, you would find that there's probably like the greatest overall levels, or at least levels at the bottom of like prosperity in societies that are more unequal.
Right.
You know, like it was easy to have equality in sort of communist societies or like tribal societies, right? But once you introduce the market and people are hustling and creating stuff, like think about startup culture, right? You have people chasing sort of like exponential gains. Like, the vast majority of these things fail. It's not a linear game. Like, a very small percentage of people succeed, and those people get like a disproportionate share of the rewards. That's just kind of the nature of it. Otherwise, people wouldn't pursue that. Like, the market
Exactly.
exists such that like, if you want to pursue moonshot things that are sort of improbable but like really move the needle, like, you have to be like wildly overcompensated to do so. Otherwise, nobody would do it. So in a free market, over time, like, the rewards just skew until somebody looks at it and goes like, okay, I'll tackle that problem because I can get phenomenally rich in doing so. And if you build a society where like, no, you can never get phenomenally rich, then you'd have to be like a crazy person to tackle these like super nutty problems and devote like maybe 10 years of your life to doing something.
Unfortunately, I think that, I hope this doesn't happen, but I think that incentives are being constrained and reduced for tackling those types of problems in America. I hope not, though.
Do you want to elaborate on that, or is that just like a passing thought?
I think that we're not enabling entrepreneurship.
Are you tinfoiling? Are you about to tinfoil?
No, it's not a tinfoil,
Damn.
actually.
I was hoping you'd
But
tinfoil.
I want to go to AI influencer.
All right. We'll stop it. Put a pin in it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next time.
So this lovely lady, this lovely little thing, earns $50,000 a month.
I think
It
she
doesn't
actually
take-
earns $10,000 a month. I fact checked this tweet.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I think she makes
Excuse
more
me,
than that.
10,000 euro.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
But are you sure? Because I think I follow her.
We've got a. How do you pronounce her? Aitana? Aitana? Aitana?
I don't know her name.
Her name is Aitana. She is a $11,000 per month. Okay, she's a Spanish AI model. This is something we actually postulated about on, on previous episodes, not that long ago, maybe like
So
8 or
last
9
weekend,
months.
I pulled up her Instagram profile, and I handed my phone to my wife, and I said, "What do you think of this chick?" And she was like, "Yeah, she's pretty hot." I was like, "What else do you think?" And I was like, "Scroll more." She was like, "What do you want me to think?" I was like, "No, just look at her. Just look at her. Like, what do you think?"
I'm just imagining Eric right.
Yeah. And she was like,
Just like showed her this girl. And
I
you're
mean,
like,
like,
look at her.
I don't love her pink hair, but like, I'm not like a pink hair girl. Like, what do you want me to like think? I was like, no, but like, what do you think? Like, just keep going. She did not know. 0%. I said, what would you think if I told you this girl was not real? What if this girl was AI? She was like, no, stop. This girl's real. I was like, no, this girl is fake. She is 100% AI. And she couldn't believe it. That's the level it's at.
How is she? Is she okay? Did she recover from
Oh,
this?
yeah, she recovered. Like, we're going to be fine.
Okay.
We're going to find a new...
Her brain just broke for a bit and she moved on with her
it'll
life.
be fine. She
Okay.
was like, oh, wow, really? Like, really? I was like, yeah.
I love that she can be like, oh my God. Anyway.
Yeah, no, we moved on pretty quickly. I think that's the world we live in, though, where it's like, oh, okay, that's the world we live in. I just got. What do you think about that? Like that's pretty unbelievable level of realism.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty predictable. I mean, women were already, I mean, I guess men do this too in different ways, but like women especially, they're already making themselves look not like they actually look, and some women are tasteful about it. Others, we know who they are. They take it to
So
an
you're saying
uncomfortable
women in general are already
level.
becoming more AI, and AI is becoming more human.
It's a thing that people have always done. Like it started with like the lighting, right? And first you're like tweaking the lighting. But then, we started getting Photoshop stuff, and we would, maybe stretch out our legs and do some crazy shit. And then like the Facetune app came along, and people were changing their facial structure. And
everything is meeting in the middle.
yeah, so it's just like a natural conclusion. Like if you think people really just want to see like a more perfected version of you, then ultimately doesn't everybody want to just see like the most, and everybody on the internet, on Instagram, is just this like idea anyway. They're not like really a real person. It's just this like fantasy
Right.
vision of something they're putting forth. So wouldn't you just want the most perfect customized fantasy vision that like kind of tweaks your brain, right? Like it's just, we're just carrying these things to their logical conclusions. So yeah, like this is not shocking to me at all. But it's it's kind of interesting that, I mean, beauty used to be one of the rarest things in the world, right? It was
so
because like
real beauty
yeah,
isn't beauty in the eye of the beholder.
sure, but like there's a standard of beauty that people are like, whoa, right?
That changes.
Yeah, well, like in the not so old days, Victoria's Secret would scour the world and they'd pick some insanely beautiful girl from like Brazil and they'd just plaster her on everything, and people would look at her and be like, "Oh my God, the bone structure," and it was so crazy. Like we couldn't replicate that, and even that woman herself would one day, grow old, like we all do, and then you have to go find like the next kind of new beauty. It was like a very rare thing, and now you live in a world where anybody can just. People are looking at all of these people like digitally anyway. They're just pixels on your screen anyway, and now you can just create them from scratch, and instead of like having like a supermodel that the general public sort of finds, like everybody can have their own like most perfect supermodel for them. And it's not just a photo, it's like 1,000 photos, and then they're making videos, and then they're talking in the videos, and then they launch like a chat that you can interact with, but it's actually just an AI, and pretty soon you're just having like full-blown just digital personal relations with somebody that doesn't exist, but they sort of do to you, and then like the brain is not equipped
Does humanity
to deal
make
with
it?
this. Does humanity make it? Yeah, we're fine.
Does humanity procreate at enough level of velocity to make it? Given this trajectory?
Oh, well, I mean,
Every man falling in love with the perfect, most ideal version who doesn't put them down or argue with them or makes them feel better about all the things that they are and no reason to do anything else, creates the emotional connection, the physical connection that they've ever wanted, is able to have sex, is able to connect emotionally.
I don't think you can.
How do
I don't think
we-
you can have sex with this girl. Yeah.
I think you can.
You can.
Wait.
No, I think you can. No, I think you can. And like, if you don't think you can,
all right.
I think that I think that
News to me.
I think there's an awakening coming in the next, like, let's just say, minimum 5 years of what that looks like. So, within these next 5 years, like, what does that look like?
I have people having sex with my chatbot right now. And, for the chat out there that doesn't know, I run a chatbot called Jimmy GPT, jimmygpt.com. It's very basic right now. There's a new version coming soon. But basically, there are people on there who have relationships with my AI chatbot. And some of that, and it won't talk to you. Don't have sex with my chatbot. Please don't. But you can. Some people do.
So that says a lot about what people, need. Like, it's pretty basic. Like, they just need someone to respond to them, to acknowledge them, to create an environment for them to be able to, like, see themselves. Like, that's my point. You know? Like, it's pretty basic level of what's needed.
Okay, so by sex you mean like emotional validation.
Well, no, because I think, like, people have pretty advanced tools these days. Like, what's the thing called? Like, I don't have
Are
one.
you thinking
but-
of a fleshlight?
Yeah,
I knew you were
fleshlight.
going to bring up a fleshlight.
No, but, like, people have fleshlights. Do you have a fleshlight?
No.
Really?
Wait, is this a shock to you?
A little bit. Like, I figured you'd have one.
It comes in the Apple Vision Pro box.
Yeah, I never even, I don't know why I didn't consider it. I thought
I'm
I'd
just going to let this slide.
lose
'cause
myself
I know
in
you've been
the-
drinking.
in that world. But yeah, I feel like, do you think Rectum has one?
No, he's way too Chad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, way too.
He probably just has an arrangement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just on demand.
Yeah, he goes to the
Just flushes on demand. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
but like, imagine you weren't the handsome, bearded devil you are. You didn't
Okay.
have a beautiful wife and child. Maybe you grew up in some foreign country and looked at a particular way that was not like the sort of Western ideal of beauty, and women didn't like you as much. But you could kind of interact with this.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Well, no, I think a lot of people are going to go in that direction. That's my hypothesis. Like, I think, like, if you're a 5'4" kind of guy who's just like, hey, like, I'm just working on my thing, I'm doing my best, and then you're able to have this, like, absolutely stunning girl. Come on, why wouldn't you want that? Who wouldn't want that?
Okay.
Like, just honestly be real with yourself. Like if you could have the most beautiful girl you ever dreamed of, you just dreamt of this, like, fantasy girl, and you get to experience her. You get to touch her. You get to have her. She responds to you. She loves
I don't
you.
think you can touch her yet.
No, but like again, like I
I
just
don't even think it's that much. I think it's
emotional.
this-
It's intellectual.
this thing responds to me.
Yeah,
At the
exactly.
at the very minimum, you know how many people guys in particular, send out text and don't hear back? You know? And
Yeah.
down that
Like-
can get you after a certain amount of times.
This
And then
is-
you send an AI chat and it's back to you in 15 seconds on any topic.
Like people,
24/7.
people don't necessarily care about. Does she really like me? They just want the engagement.
Okay, wait, let me make this more real for you. Your second child is a son. He grows up. You've taught him the way of life. You've played ball with him. You've taught him like how to take care of the beard that he'll have in the future, like all the things. And he's like 12, and he's like, you're like, hey, you dating anybody? And he's like, no, Dad. Nobody dates girls. Like we all just have these like AI girlfriends, and they're epic.
Pepper pots.
And then you go, that's great. I love that for you. Or you go, are you going to go, you're like, that's cool.
No, it's a different topic. Well, that was my question to you. I said, is humanity going to make it?
Don't Uno card me.
No, I did. I'm asking you, like, is humanity going to make it? Like, when this is reality? So I believe this is reality. I believe that the majority of people will have this, whether as their main thing or on the side. One question that's really interesting is like, is it socially and emotionally and relationally acceptable to have this on the side if you're in a relationship? That's one question.
I can't believe you just completely dodged my question.
I'm not dodging anything. And the other aspect of it is, well, you know, most people would have that. What about the rest?
Is there a specific one there? Okay, so this happened with your son, and I guess we're ignoring it. So we'll talk about.
No,
Talk about-
I just don't think. I
Would
think
you
it's-
be
it's gonna
upset?
if he was like, I'm in a relationship with an AI?
Yeah. That's a real thing you might have to deal with in the future. I need you to prepare for this.
Okay.
Like every parent is like, so something happens and the current parent generation is like, I can't believe this. And to you, it's like no big deal. And you're like, okay, boomer. But everything that's normalized to you will someday not be normalized. And you will have a kid and your kid might do something and your kid's generation might do something that you think is fucking crazy. Right? And it probably will be relative to you because that's the way it always is. Maybe this is the thing. Maybe it's like just like your kid's generation just has like AI girlfriends. Are you okay with that? Are you like, yeah, this is just this is just the way the times
not,
are?
I mean, I would just look at that as like, am I okay with like this?
Is it
The future
Gemini?
of humanity just like not surviving. Like that's how I would look at that.
Do you think that humanity is not going to? Humanity's dead? I don't think
I
humanity's
didn't
dead.
say that. I just said that's what that would suggest. That like, do I want to be this person that like fights for humanity surviving? Like, I mean, there is a real thing. Like you have to like accept that. Like if more people go toward AI relationships than physical relationships, humanity doesn't survive. It's over.
I mean, humanity's going to be fine.
Why do you say that?
Well, I have this theory that eventually all of the religious people are going to inherit the earth because they are the ones who procreate, who believe in traditional stuff. Like if everybody just starts having like 1 to 0 children and they believe that, you know, having relationships with artificial intelligence girlfriends who can't reproduce is cool. Like eventually those people just die off, right? And then like in Israel right now, the far right is having like an insane amount of like what they have, I don't know, like this is, I'm just pulling a number out of my ass, but they may have like five children per family, and then like if the left wing is kind of like America and they have like 1 to 2, like within a couple of generations suddenly you outnumber them, and then like eventually you have like exponential growth on your side and you take over everything. And then what you think is like normal now, which is like, oh, like these religious traditional folk, they're so quaint. Well, actually, like you actually just die off eventually, right? And then all of those people are the only ones left. And maybe the entire pendulum of humanity swings from a direction that you thought was kind of inevitable all the way back in the other direction. Like maybe a certain amount of people are so hypnotized by this that they just are totally enthralled by it and they're drawn in, but they actually just sort of kind of die off in a way because it's so gratifying in the moment that they don't pursue relationships. But it's sort of like an evolutionary mechanism. Those genes are not propagated, and then the surviving remnant of humanity is actually more inclined to traditional values, and then like we start the cycle all over again. Maybe the most evolved form of humans is not some kind of like techno utopian thing you have in your brain, but it's actually like looks much more traditional.
That'd be cool. I mean, that's ideal, right? Do you think that we need to fight for like physical nature of humanity?
I don't think we have to fight for anything collectively. Like, I think if I had a kid, for example, right, and I had a son who was like, I have a relationship with like an AI girlfriend, like I would, you know, much of the same way that my mom, bless her soul, was trying to tell me that Jesus is a really good thing to believe in, I would probably be pushing my thing as well. I'd be like, look, you should have real relationships with real humans because X, Y, Z. And I'd be trying to push that sort of idea on him. And it might seem old fashioned and quaint at the time. Like, why would you do that? Why would I pursue these like painful and often imperfect and virtually always like unsatisfying, you know, in the short run relationships with human women when I can have this thing that's just like awesome right in front of me and gives me everything that I want. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like the ultimate siren song for a young lad, you know? I don't know if women will feel the same. Could be like an interesting dynamic, like if women are not into this at all because they just operate differently and all the men are kind of off with their AI girlfriends. I don't know what that looks like. Could be weird. It's kind of like a thing you sort of see going on right now in like places like New York City where you have like this like very high population of professional women who are sort of like very high up in the dating pool, and there aren't like enough men to even, because women don't like to date down, they only like to date up. So when you have like Manhattan where a ton of women are like successful and everything, right, their dating pool kind of gets squished, it gets reduced. Yeah. Much in the same way that maybe in the future the dating pool gets reduced because like a huge portion of men just like exit it to go hang out with AIs. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
We do have a question from the chat before we close out here, as we're coming up on 2 hours. Which meme coins to buy this week? Like, which ones to pump?
Steven, do you want to call? I'm literally gonna pee my pants.
You're gonna pee your pants?
It's happening. I'm gonna do it on air.
You're gonna end this thing with a meme coin question?
Answer that, and then I'll come back and talk about baby dog with whiff. with hats.
I just went from talking about the future of humanity, and you guys wanted me to answer like a fucking meme coin.
Are the future of humanity,
Steven. Okay. Which meme coins should you buy? I don't know, man. I buy meme coins that are funny to me, and like you just have to develop a freaking sixth sense for these things after you buy enough of them and get wrecked by enough of them. I think that if you just buy like Shiba, Pepe, Doge, and like whiff, like you probably do well. You get the same question that you have to answer in the other part of crypto, which is like, do I buy the index of big stuff and just track that, or do I try to do like a 100x? And it's very alluring to try to do 1,000x in some random meme coin, but like they mostly don't pan out. It's mostly like entertainment. I view the whole meme coin thing honestly as like the the San Francisco gold rush, right? There's a gold rush going on. A lot of people want to go digging for gold. They want to grab the picks and shovels and go dig in the river and try to find that nugget and change their life. But in reality, the people who make the most money on average, the lowest drawdowns, lowest volatility, are the people who sell the picks and shovels. In the case of meme coins, the picks and shovels are being sold by the platforms that support the meme coins. So if you just buy Solana, if you buy Ethereum, or if you buy L2s built on Ethereum, you're sort of buying the picks and shovels. That's the way I look at it. Like I have a small portfolio allocation to meme coins because I do think they're an asset class. I do think their upside is like capped a lot higher than people think it is. I think people are underweight them. I think that Andrew Kang tweet about like Doge ETF, like the world has gotten so freaking stupid in the last 10 years. Like the idea that we're not going to have a Dogecoin ETF makes no sense to me. Like, of course that's a real possibility. But I want to buy the picks and shovels. I want to buy the platforms that support the meme coins. I want to own the casino. If you own Solana, you kind of own the meme coin casino. If you own ETH, if you own the L2s on ETH that are doing meme coins, you kind of own the casino. That's sort of where my head's at.
You switched to meme coins from that?
Well, like I don't know. I got the
Where'd that
thing with just this thing's going all over the place, man. Taking this in different directions, but
I know I'm messing with you.
yeah. Anyway, that was how are you feeling? You wanna call it there?
I feel great.
All right, that was
I feel really great. I relieved myself. I feel whole.
Well,
again.
I'm glad you feel relieved. I've got a little bit of whiplash.
I actually
a little
honestly
whiplash from that episode.
I just suffered for the last 30 minutes. I don't know if you could tell from my face, but like I was dying inside.
You didn't look okay.
Okay.
I was
good.
actually looking at you,
No, good.
wondering if you were about to vomit on me.
No, I was not okay.
I think somebody
I
in the
was
chat
not okay.
commented that you were talking on 0.8x speed,
Which
I thought was
that one of the comments? Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah,
that's a
you're
good
like, so
5x.
meme
one. 0.85
coins.
X. Okay.
What a concept.
I
Where do we
concur.
begin?
Remember Leo DiCaprio saying "I concur"?
No.
Yeah. Well, you
Where's
missed
that
that
from?
one. That was in Catch Me If You Can
Oh,
when he played the doctor.
that reminds me of
Such
that.
a goated movie.
That reminds me of that HBO special with Jon Snow where he played the tennis thing. Did you ever watch that?
Jon Snow playing the tennis.
There was
thing.
some tennis thing on
No.
HBO. He just said like indubitably a lot.
I don't know who Jon Snow is.
You don't know who Jon Snow is?
No.
All right, let's just end the episode on that
Okay.
note. I can't deal with this.
Whoop.
Anybody.
See you later.
Thank you everybody for joining. All
Yeah.
links at alfalfapod.com. Did you enjoy Armand's takes
Or
this episode?
Did you enjoy Steven not knowing who Jon Snow is?
That was
it's
literally you.
unfortunate.
That was literally you.
It was literally you.
Okay, well, fortunately, this is recorded and we can all listen to this.
Is it though?
I am being
'Cause I don't know
gaslit
if
in
you
real
recorded
time.
this.
I'm pulling the ripcord. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you back here next week.
man.
Good night. We love you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.